You look at the Trump campaign. You look at three big figures around Donald Trump now. Steve Bannon from Breitbart,
right.
Sean Hannity, and Roger Ailes. Three big, huge right-wing media mockers. Poobahs, right? What does that tell you about the campaign? What conclusions can we draw about how it's going to be run, about what its purpose is?
Well, look, the conspiracy, which I kind of think makes some sense, is that they are setting up to have a news network. And I think it'll probably be pay-per-view. But in the short term, it says there's actually a thought on the right that if the people actually get an undistilled message, a pure right-wing message, a pure nativist message, that the people out there are ready to rise up in revolt against the elites and the Democrats and the whole thing. We're going to see if they're right in this election cycle. But these guys, there's no moderating effect on Mr. Bannon, Mr. Hannity, and Mr. Ailes at all.
But you don't dispute. Let me just ask you about this. You don't dispute that Roger Ailes is a savvy political operative.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, you saw him run the 288 campaign.
I said he was one of the three best political operatives in my lifetime: Jim Baker, Roger Ailes, and David Axelrod.
So is he not someone to be, if you were running the Clinton campaign, which I know you're not,
right.
But were you not worried at all about the fact that someone put aside Steve Bannon and Sean Hannity for a moment?
Yeah,
you're not a little concerned about Roger Ailes' involvement over there? Just a matter of pure campaign mechanics?
Right. Well, I don't know about campaign mechanics, but I think the media, the way he understands stuff, yes, I think he's very formidable.
What about as that intersects with debate prep?
I think that she's going to do fine debates. Look, Trump has never had a one-on-one debate. If you debate 16 people, that's entirely different. She has debated President Obama any number of times. She had one-on-ones with Bernie Sanders. She does fine in debates. I'm really, and I shouldn't say this, but you're supposed to tamper expectations down. I expect her to do great.
She's going to clean his clock, you think?
I don't know if she's going to clean his clock, but she'll do great.
There's been some discussion about the possibility of James Carville being the stand-in for Donald Trump in her debate. First of all, is there any truth to that?
Right.
Is there any truth to that?
There's absolutely no truth, and it would be stupid for me to do it, and I'll tell you why. In order to do this right, it takes about 100 hours of prep. You have to sit there and listen to every answer that Donald Trump gives, every comeback that he gives, and basically the people that do this have to have a staff. There is no way that James Carville is going to sit down and listen and look at 100 hours of tape of Donald Trump. It is not going to be
Resource management.
No.
So who should play Trump?
Karen, I'm partial to Bob Barnett, but he's an old friend of mine. He played, Bush in '92, but I don't know what they're going to do.
He's the least Trump-like person I've ever met in my life.
But they will, again, I'm any number of people that I don't know that are in politics now, but it's got to be somebody who sits and knows every answer to every question that he's ever given. And the only way that you can do that is you have to go through all of the tapes, all of the questions. It can't be done any other way, but unbelievable preparation.
Do you think the country will ever come back together to the moment where we used to have landslide elections?
Look, I think that the Republican Party, I wrote a book in 2008 and I said 40 more years, that as construed that it was very difficult for them to win a presidential election. What will happen in this election, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. The Wall Street Journal editorial page and people on the right are going to say, but this election didn't count. She really didn't win because she beat Trump, who wasn't Republican, so we have to wait. So she really shouldn't appoint anybody to the Supreme Court. We need to wait to have a real election in 2020. I can already tell you this is exactly what's going to happen.